There was a funeral in the village today.
Yeah, the body was carried to the cremation ground on a bier. It was an old man's body. He must have been 80 or 90 years old.
I saw the procession from my window. It was a very large one. Almost the entire village had turned out. They all walked silently behind the body, each with a lighted candelabers on his head. The flames danced in the darkness and swayed to the rhythm of the slow, sad song that the villagers were chanting. In our city, when a prominent person dies, we have a state funeral. All the important people come. The prime minister comes. The chief minister comes. All the big officials come, and they all speak in hushed voices of the great contributions the departed leader has made to the nation. They lie in state in a big building. People come from all over the country to pay their last respects. There is a gun salute, and a bugler plays the last post. It is a very dignified affair. A lot of protocol, a lot of ceremony, but very little emotion. Here in the village, it was different. There was no protocol, no ceremony, just a lot of emotion. As the procession moved through the village street, I could see the body of the old man lying on the bier. His face was pale and still. I could see the vacant sockets where his eyes had been, and I wondered if he could see us, if he could see me. Was he watching us? Did he know how much we loved him? I had known the old man. He was a coot, a harmless, eccentric old man who lived in a small house on the hill overlooking the village. He kept to himself, never spoke to anybody, but everybody knew him. He was one of us, and when he died, we were all a little affected. There was something very moving about the funeral. Perhaps it was the sight of so many human faces lit by the flickering light of the candles on their heads. Or perhaps it was the haunting tune that they were chanting. Or perhaps it was the thought that death had come for one of us. I felt a lump in my throat. I wanted to join them, to walk with them, to be a part of their silent grief, but I did not. I stayed in my place and watched them go. When they reached the cremation ground, the body was taken off the bier and placed on the funeral pyre. Some of the younger men lifted the pyre. Now it was time to say goodbye. The old man's son stepped forward, and they began the ceremony. First, they poured a little ghee, or clarified butter, into the palm of the dead man's right hand. Then they closed his eyes and placed a lighted candle in his hand. They put a red cloth over his face, and then they began to chant. Their voices rose and fell, mingling with the crackle of the flames and the murmur of the evening breeze. It was a strange, sad sound that seemed to express the inexpressible, the agony of parting. The sons continued to chant. The flames grew higher and higher, and slowly, slowly, the cloth covering the old man's face began to burn. I could see the charred remains of his hand, the outline of his face, and then nothing. Soon the entire pyre was ablaze. It was almost midnight now, and the whole village was gathered around the funeral pyre, a sea of faces lit by the dancing flames. Suddenly, one of the old man's sons cried out. He pointed to the flames and shouted, "Look, the soul is coming out." At first I could not see anything. Then I saw it, a faint outline emerging from the fire, a figure like an emaciated old man, dragging himself out of the flames. The villagers gasped. Then someone started clapping, and soon everyone was clapping and cheering. The soul had left the body, was on its way to join the ancestors. This happens when a very old person dies, when someone who has lived for 80 or 90 years and seen life. In all its phases and its full circle, when such a person dies, their soul leaves the body in the form of a wisp of smoke. The villagers believe that such souls visit their birthplace once more before departing for good. This old man's birthplace was this village. So when his soul was leaving his burning body, it came back to the village one last time. It looked at the faces that had loved him, the hands that had cared for him, the home that had sheltered him, and then it disappeared into the night.